Well guys, I'm finally doing it. You've probably seen this axe in a lot of my videos, but I've never actually just talked about it. This is the Gränsfors Bruk small forest axe. I've had this for about 8, 9 years, maybe 10 years, something like that. And this is my constant companion. I have a lot of axes, and I actually have 2 here on the table, little hatchet here, and also the Scandinavian forest axe. I've got a review on this one, but I haven't really talked about my favorite axe, and that's this one right here. And so what I'm gonna do is bring you in because I need to restore this, or I guess get it sharpened and restore some of the wood on here and the leather sheath and all that. And as I do that, I want to talk about Gränsfors Bruks and why I really, really appreciate this axe. What a nice overall axe, right? 19¼ inch handle, hickory handle on here. Just a great design, good beard there. You know, so just overall, I mean, so Gränsfors Bruks, they've been around since like 1902, so over 120 years. You know, and each of these hand-forged axe heads, you can see it in the camera there. Again, we're about to clean this up, but AS, that's the initials of the blacksmith. It's just a seal of quality, is all that is. So he's proud of his work. I miss those days, right? When people used to do that for stuff. But you know, so for this size, again, 19¼ inch. Here's their hatchet. See the length difference on their hatchet here. But it's just a great overall size. I mean, it's long enough that I can get 2 hands right here and do some chopping. But it's definitely short enough that you can throw this in a rucksack. You can throw this in a bag and carry it with you. It's not heavy. I mean, it's about 2 pounds, right? So it's not heavy. But just a great overall design. And so if you're wondering right now, yes, I did add this leather collar right here. So I did add that collar. I'll talk about that in just a second. But what I want to do, because it is, you can see the color difference, and see some of the sap over the years it's kind of built up. And I try to scrape that off on occasion. But this is newer. See the color? It's almost as like formed a patina on it, right? See that? It's formed kind of like a nice patina on there. So it's going to become like a darker in color. I mean, of course, that's over the years of putting boiled linseed oil and using it, and of course out in the forest and camping and all that stuff. So, but I just take this everywhere. It's just great for limbing, forestry, you know, chopping kindling, you know, just chopping trees, even smaller trees. I wouldn't do a huge tree, but you could, you know, take you a long time. That's why I recommend the Scandinavian forest axe for that. But what I want to do is, first off, I want to just wipe it down. I've just got just a rag here. Just kind of wipe it down of just some surface stuff. And, you know, there's something pleasurable about taking care of your tools. And they call this a lug right here. So you got the cheeks, the lug, the ear. I guess that's in like what, from an old Scottish? I mean, I know that in Scottish, sometime in Scotland, they used to call that a lug for an ear. Got the eye up here. So, I mean, you got the, you know, nice little parts to the axe. But if you're wondering, that's why that's kind of coming down right there. And a lot of axes have that. But I just want to kind of wipe, just a basic wipe on this first. Again, I need to keep it sharp and ready to go. So just something like that is fine for now. What I want to do is actually start with sharpening. And my favorite sharpener to use really when I'm out, especially when I'm out, I should say, out in the field, is this Lansky puck. So great little sharpener. And if you've never done this before, I can show you real quick here. But the idea is you got a coarse and a medium. I wouldn't call this super fine. It's like maybe 220, I can't remember off the top of my head, 240, something like that. So it's not super fine, but medium. I'm going to call it coarse and medium. And you don't have to use like a honing oil. You can if you want to. I usually use this to just clean it off, but you can just use it dry like this, and that's just fine. But the idea is that you inspect the edge. And my edge isn't too bad. I don't have any nicks. Doesn't look like I've got any nicks in it. This is a hardened steel. Just the edge here is the hardened steel, and that part, yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good actually. I keep it sharp, so, but it is a little, I could feel a burr on one side, or at least a coming over or rolling over a little bit right there. So you never want to, when you sharpen this, you don't want to go all the way flat, right? So you basically just take this, watch out for your fingers because this can get really sharp. And actually I do have a couple little small nicks right there in it. It's gonna be hard for you to see that. But I'm gonna just find the bevel. And I'm gonna go down the length of it. Now I'm just going to do it just once or twice here with this coarse to get some of those few little nicks there off. Like that. And then I'm going to reverse it. Reverse the, yeah. And do the other side. Yeah, that's much better. Much better. And then reverse it, use the medium. And I'm just going to do this just a few times and that should be fine. Reverse that. That's feeling nice right there. That's feeling nice. All right. So that's how you sharpen. That's how you sharpen the axe. So the great little puck, I'll drop a link for this down below. Great little Lansky puck. You know, oftentimes when I'm finished, I'll take some of this hunting oil. You can see some of the steel that's come off on that, and you can just take this, squirt some on each side. I'm not going to do it on the camera now, but I squirt some on each side and then wipe that off, and that's fine. So I'll drop those down below. All right, so next I want to take care of the leather. So this comes with a leather sheath, as you can see right here. Nice leather sheath. So this just goes around the back and snaps like that. So nice sheath. But you know, you can see the wear and tear on there. So it just needs to be preserved. So, you know, I'm outside a lot, rain, all that. And here's the collar. I was going to mention this earlier. All I did is I just found a piece of leather and I soaked it. I put some oil on the other underside of this before I did this, but I soaked it and stretched it around here. And when I did, I took some paracord and sewed it together. And so that's held on there for what, 8 years? 9 years? That's crazy. 10 years. So you can see some rough spots right there. That's why I put this on it. Because what happens is oftentimes if you go through a log, if you're splitting a log or something, parts of that log will come in contact with your handle up here. So you don't want the shoulders of your handle to get damaged up there. So that's why I have that collar. I put this on some of my other axes as well. I've done a metal one, but you know, this has been, I just like the leather look. So if you're wondering why, that's why. But what I like to do for leather is two parts. One is this stuff, it's the saddle soap. So basically all you do, I've got this damp rag over here, and I just take some saddle soap and go to town and cleaning it. And then this is Obanoff's. You see I've used a lot of it for leather, but Obanoff's is kind of worn down. LP leather preservative. So that's, again, I'll try to drop as much of the stuff down below as I can. But the idea with the saddle soap is I want to just take a little bit here on a little bit of a damp cloth. It's not too wet, just a little damp. That's it. And I'm just going to come along in here and just clean it first. I don't have much, just a little bit on there. And just to clean it off before I put the preservatives. Kind of remove if there's some slight mildew on there or anything else. If you've ever dealt with that, go ahead and drop a like if you've dealt with mildew or mold on leather. It's kind of annoying. So there's that. And I'm going to do the same thing with this sheath. Again, just take some this little settle soap. Again, I don't put a ton on there. And just going to kind of clean it first. Clean off. It's already looking a lot better with that, just that. But you'll like what it really looks like with that Open-Offs. This stuff's awesome. I like the smell of it too. Again, it's pleasurable. This is what people, I guess, don't realize. We live in a culture that everybody just throws stuff away all the time. Kind of a consumer culture in the sense that we just kind of use it and throw it away, never to use it again. And it's kind of sad, I think. Kind of sad. So I think that's going to be good for right now. Okay, so there's that. And then what I'll do is take the Open-Offs. Show you how this works. Hit the Open-Offs. Again, I kind of like the smell of this stuff. All right, and I'll show you what this looks like with the X here. And that's going to protect, kind of penetrate. Eventually, I'll have to replace this collar if I want to put another collar on. But I'm going to kind of just do a pretty thick coating on here and let that soak in while I do the sheath. Make sure you get the bottom part. Do the sheath in just a second. I'm going to get this, especially this part up here. And yeah, get that back part. Okay, so there is that. So yeah, it's pretty thick. I'll wipe off the excess in just a moment, but that's for looks nice and shiny right now, right? So I'm gonna lay that down while I work on the sheath. Here's the sheath. Watch how nice this turns out. I'm gonna put the stuff on here. Just looks so nice. And again, I am, if you're wondering, yes, it is thick on here, but it's just pleasurable to be able to use the nice tools, and take care of them. It's kind of like a fire. If you take care of it, it'll take care of you. It's kind of like a tool. Take care of it, it'll take care of you. And you want to take care of your tools, especially if you've invested money into it. I mean, these axes are not cheap. I mean, that axe probably right now, at the time of recording, I think that axe is between $200 and $250. I know, it's a lot of money. But there's also something safe about a nice tool, especially something like an axe or a knife. That's safe. It's going to cut where you intend to cut and cut how you intend to cut something. But it's also pleasurable to use because it's very efficient, typically. Nicer tools are typically more efficient. So am I giving you enough justification to get nice tools at this point? Okay, enough on that. So that's looking good, looking nice. I'm going to go ahead and set these aside, and then I'll show you what I do with the axe handle. All right, now to my favorite part, BLO, boiled linseed oil. I don't care if it gets on this worktop because, well, I put boiled linseed oil on the worktop on occasion, so to seal this. So I love this stuff, and it is really nice. So again, earlier we did kind of wipe this off. So so it should be fine just to go ahead. And again, this is just kind of discoloration over time, maybe some sap in there and stuff, but it's not bad. So it's okay. So what we're going to do is put this on there. I'll show you. I'll also put this on the axe head too, just so to let you know. Put some here. And this is fun. I actually start with axe head. And watch what will happen with this. This thing is going to pop. It's going to look nice. So kind of Cleans that off a little bit. You could put, you know, 3-in-1 oil on here. That'd be fine. You know, I've done that. I'll oftentimes do that on here. But make sure you get the eye up there on the top. And the other side, get a little bit more in there. This is fun, isn't it? You're probably just watching, thinking, chilling out, maybe having a beverage or something. But this is a lot of fun. It'll take care of an axe. Axe is a good friend. Take care of him. Okay, there's the axe head. Looks a lot nicer, cleaner on there. Be careful right there. Okay. Pretty sweet, huh? I'll wipe off some of the excess in a minute. But I like that. Okay, now onto the actual handle, and you'll see how nice this is gonna look here. Look at that. Get the palm swell down here. Sometimes when you get a new axe, you got to take just a very fine sandpaper and run it over. I've had to do that on a couple of axes. That is looking good. You also want to make sure you get a little bit in that. I should at some point take this out, this lanyard, but I kind of like the lanyard in there sometimes. So like hanging on it, you know, I like to hang it up on a limb. So I'll keep that lanyard on there. Or, you know, sometimes if you're doing a serious chopping, you put your hand through it just so it doesn't fly out of your hands or something. That's looking good. I'll set that one aside. Get a fresh one. Just kind of wipe off some of that excess on there. And that, my friends, is a good looking, sharp axe. And I feel good about it. And here's what's nice. Next time I go out and use this, next time, you know, if you're taking care of your equipment like this, next time you go out and use it, it's ready to go. It's sharp. It's nice. Let me grab the sheath. Where is it? Here we go. Here's the sheath. Look at that. Look at that. And that's so nice. Ah, love that. So nice. Well, there it is. The Gränsfors Bruk small forest axe. What a great companion. I mean, the 1-2 punch, if you're going backpacking, if you're going on the trail or something, having a little axe like this is so nice. Again, it's only 2 pounds, right? So 2 pounds, but all the stuff you can do with this is just wonderful. I wouldn't do metal on metal, right? You don't, the pull back here, you don't want to strike that like hammering tent stakes. Not ideal, so I can't recommend that, but I know a lot of you guys do. But you know, something like camping, hiking, but I just use this for limbing. 1-2 punch though with an axe and a saw is a great combination. Obviously you're always going to have a knife on you, right? Got to have that, but axe, saw, great combination. But I'll drop a link for this down below. Some other things I appreciate. But guys, thanks for joining me today. I know it's a little bit longer video, but thanks for joining me and hanging out as we restore or just kind of refurbish and bring back to life an axe that needed some little TLC. So anyway, thanks so much for your support for us and for our channel. And if you've not already done so, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel, and we'll see you on the next video.